when I talk to him, I'm like, hey, you know, are you calling my girlfriend or whatever, this and that? He's like, no, she's calling me. And sometimes I was with her, and then he'll call her, talk about, oh, I know you with Hector, this and that, you know what I'm saying?
I already know y'all were having some problems there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a secret, okay? Maybe you didn't tell anybody,
Yeah.
but he certainly did.
Yeah.
Basically just going to dig until I get to the whole truth, okay? And
Well, I might as well put everything out on the table then.
put it all out for me.
You know, I was like, I can't find my weed. I told him it was in my back pocket. Now, I got up, put out the gun, and then...
It's July 25th of 2008. Police are called to Riverside Memorial Park, a cemetery in Jacksonville, Florida. A car has been parked for about 2 days, and the employees discover a man slumped over in the back seat. The man is 25-year-old Levi Rollins of Jacksonville, and he has died due to gunshot wounds. Through the investigative process, detectives speak with Levi's mother and find that Levi has a friend named Hector Sanchez-Torres.
Ashley? I have no notion.
They go to his apartment and speak with him once and get enough information to have interest in requesting his presence down at the station. To Hector's credit, in March of the next year, that being 2009, he brings himself in for a voluntary interview. Little does he know at the time, it will be the last decision he will ever make as a free man.
Let's swap. Just sit over here so I can show you. So I'm left-handed, so I get all in my own way here, real quick, like.
How you doing?
First of all, I do appreciate you coming down. I do want to go over some stuff that's out of my case file, okay? And in that, we're going to talk about some stuff that's really more like evidence in my case, okay?
Yes, sir.
Before I do that, and we sit and speak, I do want to go over your rights with you, okay? You're not under arrest. I'm not charging you with anything. You drove yourself down here, and you're free to go. But to cover us so you understand, I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to trick you or anything like that. So I want to make sure this is real clear before we get started, okay? There's so much stuff. It's been months.
Yes, sir.
First thing is, go back through all my notes here. The first time I talked with you was July 25th. I believe it was a Friday, but I'm not certain. It's either Thursday or Friday. Around 3:30 in the afternoon at your apartment,
Yes.
right, which is number 36.
Yes, sir. Well, that's
Okay.
my mom's. You know.
Your mom, yeah. This is where you live still?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what I wanted to just check with, I've written a report since then, okay, and I just want to verify some of the information I put in there. You all right?
Yes, sir. I've been sick lately. I woke up Tuesday like with a real bad. I was throwing up and all that.
Going around a lot.
Yeah. All right. It said that we met you there at the apartment, got your date of birth, it's 9. You were staying at the apartment with your mother. Does anybody else stay there with you, or just your mother?
It's me, well, my little sister, and now my uncle that just moved out from Puerto Rico.
What's your little sister's name?
Joanne.
Joanne Sims?
Yes, sir.
How old is she?
I was about to say 12. I think 15. Yeah, she just turned 15 July.
Okay. And your uncle?
Carlos.
So he just moved from Puerto Rico?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long has he been there now?
For about, I say good, like probably about a couple months, maybe
Okay.
a month or two.
Not long.
Yeah.
Sometime after I talked to you,
Yes,
till
sir.
now?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I'm just going through everything we have here. I'd asked you when we were there if you knew that, if you knew Levi Rollins.
Mhm.
You said you did. I asked if you knew that he was found deceased, and you said that you had learned that. I told you how I found you was that Levi's mother told me you guys were friends,
Yes.
so I wanted to come and check and see if you could help me with anything there. I asked you when you last spoke to him. Now, he was found on a Tuesday, I believe.
Yeah.
Wednesday. He was found on a Wednesday morning. On the 23rd, which was Wednesday. I asked you when you last talked with him, and you told me on Saturday.
I think it's like Saturday.
Is that correct?
Yeah, at night. Yes, sir.
Saturday night?
Mhm.
Okay. That's what I wrote here. The dates get me all confused, so. Saturday would have been, if Wednesday's the 23rd, let's see, the 19th. I didn't put that in here, I just put Saturday.
Yes, sir.
But it was the 19th, I believe.
Seems reasonable. 4 days from there.
Yeah.
4 from the 23rd makes it the 19th.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not a math major. I asked when you talked to him, you said Saturday sometime you thought between 10 and 11 at night.
Yes, sir.
And we clarified then as well that it was 4 days earlier that we were talking about, not 2 or 3 weeks ago, but just 4 days earlier. I asked you when you found out that he had died, and you said you learned about it yesterday, which was the 24th. I came to see you on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So you said Thursday you found out about it from his family.
Yeah, because his mom called me, and
Okay.
she asked if I spoke to him, because she ain't spoke to him, I think, since Sunday or something like that.
Okay.
And then that's when she told me.
Okay. I just asked you questions about what Levi was like.
Mhm.
You said that he liked to sing, didn't have any enemies that you were aware of. And I asked when you'd last actually seen him face to face. Said it had been about 3 weeks ago. And then you kind of clarified and said 2 weeks prior to the Saturday night when you talked to him, since you'd last seen him. At that point, it was almost 3 weeks when I was speaking to you. I asked you where you saw him at the last time you saw him, and you said he came to your apartment and you guys hung out. How often you spoke to him, 3 or 4 times per week. And I asked you about what kind of car he had, and you said he had a green Honda Accord. Some names that came up. Do you know a guy named Chuck?
I know Chuck.
You know Chuck? How would you describe Chuck physically?
I think he's albino. White hair.
Is he a black male?
Well, he's black, but with the white colored skin.
Right.
White hair. I think he has blue or green eyes. I'm not sure.
You'd recognize him if you saw him?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the first and only I know I've ever met.
It's
Just so we make sure this isn't him, but that's Levi,
No,
right?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Chuck, yeah.
That's Chuck. Did you know Levi's roommate?
At the time, we was before I was talking about getting my own place. He told me I could move in with him because he had like a little 2-bedroom on the south side, but he didn't tell me where because he was gonna show it to me, but we never had time. And he asked me if I wanted to move in, and I was like, that's kind of far from from my workplace and everything, and from everything else. Cause,
talking about Chuck.
No, Levi.
You're gonna move in with Levi?
Yeah, I was gonna move in with Levi, and then I told him, my girlfriend was pregnant. She had the baby now, but
Did she?
yeah, she had it Monday.
Cool deal. Boy or girl?
Boy,
What'd you name him?
Omari.
Omari?
Yes, sir.
Good deal.
So
What's your girlfriend's name?
Christian.
What's your first name?
Christian. And I told him that's kind of far away, from them and everything. So at the time, I was thinking about it. But
How old is Christian?
17, she turns 18 November 30th.
Do Christian and Levi know each other? You've been dating her a while?
Well, it's been a year and a couple months from yeah.
Been dating her for a while. For just a year, like few 3-4 months, more than a year, or
Well, since July, so from July to now.
July of 07?
Yeah, July of 07.
Okay. Yeah, 14, almost 15 months. Okay.
Yeah, obviously more than 9.
Obviously
Yeah.
more than 9. I knew that part. Okay.
But these guys this Christian and Levi, did they know each other?
It's like they talk because of some stupid stuff.
What was
It's
going
like
on
not
there?
because of their friendship or whatever.
Are they friends or are they not friends?
Nah, they're not friends, man.
What was their deal? What were they having issues with?
Honestly, I don't know the story because I was trying to get the story straight that's like pretty much the only problem we had because
You and
I-
she?
like
you and
between
Levi
us,
or
us
everybody?
three, like us three, because it's like she didn't like him. I don't know why or whatever. And then she started getting like private phone calls and everything, and she said she'll hear Levi's voice in the background, like telling somebody to say something, and then like when I talk to him, I'm like, hey, are you calling my girlfriend or whatever? This and that. He's like, no, she's calling me or whatever. And then it's like, and then sometimes I was with her, and then he'll call her, talk about, oh, I know you with Hector, this and that, you know what I'm saying? And then like they always, I didn't know. He said that she called him, and she said that he called her, and then that nobody ever called each other. So
Right.
I never got the whole
So
story.
you're not
straight or
sure what
whatever.
was going on with that?
Yeah. No, it was like, 'cause it was a problem, because it was like some stuff being said or whatever. You know,
what?
like people was coming up, like calling her, and then talk about, oh, why you messing with your boyfriend and everything? Because they said me and Levi, like I guess they call him gay or whatever, and then she was like, oh, nah, he's not, you know what I'm saying? Because I was always with her, you know what I'm saying? He's like, he can't be this and that, and then he'll call her, and then he'll have like females calling him, oh yeah, oh, and then the other thing is we have like block numbers, like some gay dudes or whatever. Oh yeah, I suck this, you know what I'm saying? Like I had sex with your boyfriend and everything, and that's an issue we had or whatever, and then that kept on going, and then I tried to stop it, you know. So I was like, well, you stop calling her, you stop calling him, even if you're not doing the calling, and then it's been like 2 months or whatever, and then all of a sudden she says, I'm starting to get phone calls again, this and that, blah blah blah, and then I kind of noticed it that whenever Levi was upset, that's when she got some phone calls. Because he'll come up to me and be like, hey man, what's going on, this and that, and then we'll talk straight, and then that's when she'll come at me a couple hours later, hey, I just got another phone call, this and that, blah blah blah.
Did Levi want to have a relationship with you?
I don't know, I mean,
It seems like something he might mention if this is a big issue.
no,
between him
because
and
the
your
thing is,
girlfriend.
they said it wasn't him saying it, it was other people saying it,
okay.
and then because the deal was, because I never give my phone, other people's phone numbers out unless they tell me to.
Right.
And then they keep on telling her that they got her phone number off of me, out of my phone. I'm like, my keypad's locked, you know what I'm saying? Nobody knows my passcode except for her.
And you keep your keypad locked, nobody would be using your
Yeah,
phone.
so they said to get out my phone. I'm like, that's a lie, you know what I'm saying? And then I started getting phone calls, like a lot of my friends, it's like people that don't even have to do with this. It's like, hey man, I just got a phone call, somebody talking about you. And I'm like, what do you have to do with anything? And then, like, somebody's calling all my friends, and then I lost a lot of friends because of that, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause
Was Levi gay?
that I know of, no.
Not that sure. And you've been friends with him
Yeah,
for
I've been
a
a couple
number of years,
years, yeah.
right? How many years you think?
About probably going on 4, maybe
Close
5.
to 4 years,
Yeah.
5 years?
3, 4
So a
years.
long time.
Yeah.
You think you would have known if he was gay?
Yeah. It's like, it's like at first, when I first met him, I thought he was, because he kind of, walk and everything. He looks kind of, but then every time I was chilling with him, he talk about hoes and everything.
There was never.
That could be male whores.
Well, that's true, but he's always telling me, because I know that there's one lady used to work at ABC Liquor. He used to tell me about all the time, some Puerto Rican lady, but I forgot her name. And he's like, man, yeah, and she keeps wanting to fuck me, man. I want to fuck, man. I'm like, shit.
But, so there was never an issue that you were aware of.
Uh-uh.
You and he didn't have any problems.
Nah.
It was just between him and your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, that kind of brought problems with us or whatever, because I'm like, hey, man, just chill out, stop calling my girlfriend. And like, you got to tell her to stop calling me.
Levi work?
Yes, sir.
Where did you work?
CarMax.
That's right.
You knew that.
Yeah, I did. So you knew Levi before you knew your girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you first meet Levi?
In the apartments.
Over at your apartment complex?
Yes, sir. Because they used to live in the front, and then I stayed, in the back with my mom or whatever. And then we kept on moving in and out. We've been in there for like 8 years, moving in and out. And then they've always been at the same spot. And then every time I come back, they was always there. And they finally moved. Because they moved to San Juan.
Yeah.
You know a guy named Jeremy?
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Jeremy.
I guess it would be Levi's roommate, Jeremy.
Uh,
Never met him.
I didn't even know he had a roommate.
We already talked about Charles. A boy named Travis.
Mm-mm.
He's friends with Levi.
I ain't. It's like I met a lot of people through him, but I never kept in contact with him. It's like a one day, meet and drink.
Hector, and all the stuff we've gone through in this case so far, there's some things that don't make a lot of sense to me. Okay. I've talked to probably, 10 or 15 plus people that knew Levi fairly well, and everybody I've talked to has told me flat out he's gay, except you. Okay, you're the only one that has told me that he wasn't. From what I've been told by other people, you and he were having a running dispute over him having told your girlfriend that you were gay, okay, and that was ongoing. And you really haven't mentioned that. I'd like to know more about that.
Yeah, that's the.
I also know that she was calling him, and he was calling her quite a bit, okay, and I have some issues with that, okay. You also told me when you last spoke to him, and it's not correct, okay? I have your phone records. I have all your phone records. In fact, I have them to the point that I have cell tower records that can tell me roughly where you were at the time the calls were made, okay? And I can tell you that for a fact, on the night that Levi was killed, you told me you were at home. You weren't at home. Okay, I can prove that already.
When I talked to Levi?
Well, the night he was killed.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that. You need to come clean with me on everything, okay? And failing to do that is going to create big problems, okay? I need to know if something got out of hand because he's causing all this problem with you and y'all get into an altercation. I need to know about it, okay? I'm being as honest as I can be, okay? I'm not trying to put anything out there that's not right, but I already know y'all were having some problems there, okay? It wasn't a secret, okay? Maybe you didn't tell anybody, but he certainly did.
Yeah.
So there's no question in my mind that there was more going on. If you guys had your thing going, that's your thing. I'm not here to worry about that, okay? And if that's something you don't want your girl to know, that's your business, okay? I'm basically just going to dig until I get to the whole truth, okay?
Well, we might as well put everything out on the table then.
Put it all out for me.
Shit, I did it, man.
What'd you do it for?
Cause man, I can't put up with this, man. It's too much drama, man. Man, cause my girlfriend, man, she talk about leaving me, going to Ohio. She want to take my baby away because of some nigga, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and then she told me, like, if it was in the past, I'm like, but I'm not doing nothing with him, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, we hang out and shit, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, okay, the nigga, you know what I'm saying, let him be gay, but shit, just because I'm cool with a gay dude, you know what I'm saying, don't mean shit about me. And then her parents was always talking about me, man, and then I was just like, I couldn't deal with it, man. And then he come up and threaten her. That's what pushed me, cause she talked to her dad, and then was like, man, and then cause her dad was like, man, next time you get a phone call, I'm gonna answer the phone. And then he answered the phone or whatever, and then well, I think he called him, if I'm correct. I think he called him to figure out what's going on, and then once he called him, they talked about everything, and then as soon as he finished talking to him, her dad, he called me. Hey man, why the fuck this nigga, why the fuck you got Christian's dad calling my phone? I was like, I didn't even know that, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking to Christian. Me and Christian already arguing that day because of it. And then her dad was like, yeah, she's like, and then they're like, I don't want no faggot nigga, around my family, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then, and then he wanna come up, man. And then shit's crazy.
Tell me what happened. What happened when it all went down?
Like how I do it?
Yeah.
Man, I lied to him, man. I was like, man, well, I was like, I want to see if he want to smoke, you know what I'm saying? Like, to make him think, everything's still on the cool grounds. You know what I'm saying? I brought him, like, it wasn't in my apartment. Like, we went to the back or whatever. And then I was just like, man, I got some, I got the weed or whatever. We went to the store, bought a blunt. I was like, I can't find my weed. I told him it was in my back pocket. And I got up, pulled out the gun, and then at first it misfired. Well, not misfired, but it didn't click. And then bullets started flying.
Where were you at when that happened? Were you in the car or out of the car?
Well, I was like, listen, I was like, I don't know if you say I was in the car, like, because this is the chair right here, like on the passenger side, and then.
Okay, you're on. So the driver's seat's here.
Yeah, so I'm like this, and then this is the outside of the car. I got up like this or whatever, I was like, I can't feel it, and I still had my left foot in it. I'm pretty much halfway out. I came up and then.
What'd you do then?
And then I left him there for a couple minutes. I got dressed. Well, not dressed, but I put on a different outfit or whatever.
Were you undressed? Did he think y'all were?
No, I wasn't undressed. No, I just had like white
Different
clothes and like nice clothes on.
Okay.
Then I just put on some dirty black stuff and some long pants, and then put on some gloves. And moved the car.
Where'd you move the car to?
Cemetery.
Where did the shooting happen at?
My apartment.
Where at in your apartment?
In the back by the trees.
On the back side?
Mm-hmm.
You can
Like
go
where
around
the-
the back, right? You're talking about in the back edge?
Yeah, like how the apartment was like this.
Like, let me draw.
You pretty much just use it like this, like how this. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. We go, if that's Jamie's Road running down here, you got your turn in. You got two different turn ins.
Okay, yeah, this one's blocked off.
Yeah, that one, the gate's closed. Got buildings here, and then you got your building running back, and another building back here.
Yeah, we came right here. We chilled back here, like behind this, where the mailbox
Maintenance
is.
sheds here. You live up here.
Yeah, we chilled like right here.
Which way was the car facing? Towards the woods?
No way, towards the building.
So it was parked
Whose car were you were in? whose
facing
car were
this
you
way?
in?
I was in his car.
Okay. And you were in the passenger side?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
And he
came
was
up-
sitting over here in the driver's seat?
Yep.
Okay.
I came out, like halfway. I did that, went home, got changed.
Came back.
Yeah.
How many times did you shoot him?
I think it was 3.
Okay.
And you
Where did I find him in the car?
Backseat.
Where at? How was he laying in the back seat?
I
Roughly.
think like laying down, probably his feet propped up like this or something like that.
With his head towards the passenger side?
Yeah, like this or something like that.
How'd you get him back there?
I laid down in his seat, his driver's seat or whatever, and then I went to the back door. I opened up the door, I tried to like pull him halfway, and I got his body towards like the middle. I took his feet, and I put him up, and I like kind of not tossed him, but he's heavy. So
Why go to the cemetery?
yeah, I don't know. I just told him the rest.
Couldn't leave him there in your complex?
Yeah.
Do you remember what Levi was wearing that night?
I think I might have some colorful stuff. Not colorful, but like I think like stripes or something like that, or plaided or something.
Okay. When did he have? Did you take anything from him when you left?
I took his phone.
Did he have a wallet or any money on him? Where's his phone now?
That's gone. I broke it.
You broke it.
Mm-hmm.
What about the gun?
Oh, that's gone too.
Where'd you get rid of that at?
Yeah, St. John's.
Where in
at?
St. John's?
Well, not St. John's, in the county, the river. I just
Where in the
Where'd you
river?
throw it from?
tossed it off the bridge.
Which bridge?
The red one, the Hart. I mean, not Hart, but
The one that goes to Arlington?
Matthews Bridge.
Matthews Bridge.
cause I was going over there. It was like a different day. Like I think like a week or 2 weeks.
After we came and talked to you?
Yeah. And then
How'd you get the gun?
shit got off the street.
You know who you bought it from, or
Nah, I don't.
just got it from somebody?
Yeah.
What kind of gun was it that you bought?
32.
Was it
Yeah,
an
32.
auto or a revolver?
Nah, revolver.
Revolver.
Hmm.
What color was it?
It was gray with black tape.
Black tape?
On
On
the
the grip?
Yeah.
After you left the cemetery, how did you get home, or where'd you go then?
Shit, I walked for a minute. And then I went to one of my homeboys' house.
Who?
And then, what's his name? Jeremiah?
What's Jeremiah's last name, you know?
I don't know his last name.
Where does Jeremiah live?
He used to stay off of London, in London town.
Uh-huh.
He stayed in there.
Let me ask you this. Did you tell Christian about this?
No,
Does she know?
I told her I got a handle. She asked me how. I just told her I had a handle.
You didn't give her any other information?
I mean, she didn't figure it out when did she learn that Levi was dead?
On the news.
On the news? I mean, did she say anything to you about it? I mean, did you? She
Then
didn't.
she asked me. I was like, I didn't know. I was like, for real. And then I told her other shit. He had it coming.
You told her he had it coming.
Hmm.
Was Levi going to out you?
I don't know.
I mean, he pretty much hadn't he? I mean,
Well, I don't say like
to Christian,
Yeah,
he's
pretty
causing the
much.
problems
Yeah.
between Christian and her family and you. He was the source of all of it.
Hmm. That's the only problem.
And that was enough for you to shoot him?
Nah, he threatened her, man. He talk about killing her, and he said he said he's gonna get his sister Danielle to whoop ass. Like at first he said he's gonna get somebody to whoop ass, after she had the baby, but then he just got to the point where like he's like, I don't give a fuck, man. He's like, I'm gonna get my little sister to whoop ass now. I don't give a fuck if she's pregnant. That I was like, man, that's my fucking child, man. If you mess up my child, you know what I'm saying? I told him directly, you know what I'm saying? At the time I didn't mean it. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, shit, I'll hurt you. You know what I'm saying? I'll kill you if you fuck up my, you know what I'm saying? If you, my child or whatever. And then he was like, man, okay, I ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do it. And then I'm like, man, I was like, whatever you do, bro. I was like, you put your hands on her or my child, man. I'm gonna kill you. And he was like, all right. So we got, from there we got it squashed. You know what I'm saying?
How long ago was that before all this happened?
I think like couple days or something like that.
So it wasn't too long.
Yeah, it wasn't too long. And then so we got all that straight or whatever. And then he called her or whatever, talk about he gonna her to get his sister to beat him up. Beat her up. Talk about blowing up her house and shit like that. That's when her dad called him, like the day that that happened.
Okay.
They was talking that day, cause I told him. Cause he said they was gonna blow up the house or whatever. Like he didn't say that to the dad. But that's what he told, me and Christian.
Did you get the gun specifically for this purpose?
I've had it beforehand.
You ever shoot anybody else?
Mm-mm.
You ever shoot the gun before that?
Yeah.
So you knew it worked?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said how many times you think you shot him?
3. I know one time it didn't, I guess the bullets wasn't lined up right. And then I know I heard 3 shots.
Do you know where you hit him at?
I know one, I hit him in the head, and that's the only one.
Not sure about the other ones?
Yeah, because I wasn't looking when I did it. Because the first one, it clicked. I was like, I kind of hesitated because I was like, oh, shit. And then the first one, I shot, nothing happened. The second one, and then he's like, started crying, ah! And the third time, I shot him. And as soon as I shot the third one, I looked down, and I just seen his head, go like that.
So it's a click and 3 shots?
Yeah.
I know you said the cemetery. Which cemetery?
Right there behind or beside Ed White High School. In the first entrance.
Well, on that road that comes out to Normandy?
No, on the other side. Like when you're going to Normandy.
Right.
Yeah, the first entrance on the left.
On the left. Coming from Ed White.
Yeah.
Come up
Old Middleburg.
Old Middleburg, you turn, and that's
Make
Memorial
that
Park
left.
Road. It comes up and you took the first left into the cemetery?
Mhm.
Okay. When was this happened? Which night was it actually?
At first, I thought it was whenever y'all talked to me. I thought it was Saturday, but I think it was probably Sunday, Saturday or Sunday.
Possibly early Monday morning, late Sunday night,
Yeah,
early Monday morning.
so, like around 12, 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
After he's
You all right?
Oh yeah, I was just burping.
after he's dead, obviously you're not calling him anymore, correct?
Hmm.
Okay. So if I'm going down these numbers here and I see that you're calling him, these are calls that you're making to him. Did y'all text at all, or were they all calls, or were some texts? Or
Sometimes it's like.
that night, do you remember? Was it all phone calls? Or was it?
I think it was. I think he texted me like 1 or twice, and then it was phone calls.
Okay, and he came around to your apartment to meet you.
Hmm.
Okay.
And he picked me up, then we left, then we came back.
What happened to the clothes you were wearing that night? What'd you do with those? You said you changed. You put on black.
I threw them in the dumpster.
Where at?
The same dumpster that was right there.
At the apartment complex?
I just put them in a bag. And
So this was over the fact that Levi was causing problems with your girlfriend, not over the fact that...
And he's telling everybody you're gay.
not because it's like...
Or was it really because he's threatening your girlfriend at that point?
It's like he's causing problems and he was threatening my girlfriend. Because at first he was just causing problems, and I'm like, problems you can get past it and stuff.
But by that, when you say causing problems, though, is he's telling people you're gay. That's the problem that he's causing.
Yeah.
Okay. And like you said, you didn't have a relationship like that with him.
Yeah.
Okay. But so that was a problem. That was causing a problem with you
Yeah.
and her parents. And then the second part was him
He
threatening to hurt her,
yeah.
or through that hurt the baby.
Had he ever tried to initiate anything with you?
It's like I remember he talked to me funny one time, but it's because he was drunk. That's what that's what his excuse was. Cause I talked to him, I was like, man, I ain't like how you came at me, cause we at somebody's house. I think it was like, I'm not sure. It's over there off of where the movie theater is on the south side. What's it called?
Tinseltown?
Tinseltown. It was some house over there. I dropped him off over there, and I came back to pick him up because he let me borrow his car. And when I picked him up, he was drunk. He was he kind of came on to me, and I told him like the next morning. I was like, man, I ain't
Don't be doing that.
I was like, I ain't appreciate that shit, So I was like, you my boy and everything, but I don't appreciate that. And then he was like, hey, he's like, my fault, man. I was just.
Let me ask you this. We asked you earlier to describe Levi, and we've talked to everybody we can find that knows him, and everybody, including you, says he's really passive, really laid back, really mellow. Why would we think he would do anything at all to your girlfriend or her family?
I sat on the phone and listened to the man say, if she doesn't stop calling me, I will hurt the bitch. I will get my. He told me.
I mean, have you ever seen him hurt anybody? I mean, nobody's ever said that, including you. So that's why I'm asking. I mean, it doesn't sound anything like him. Okay.
It's like he's never told me he hurt anybody, and I've never seen him hurt anybody. But he's told me, if I would do this, you know what I'm saying? He told me
If you were to do something, this is what I'd do.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what types of things had he said before about
he got, because I know he had like little pocket knives and stuff like that. He's like, where's my pocket knife? You know what I'm saying? He's talking
Did he have a pocket knife with him that night?
Now, I don't know. I didn't.
You didn't check his pockets or anything?
Yeah. Well, I checked his pockets or whatever, but.
What was in his pockets?
Nothing.
Did y'all get the smoke did y'all smoke the blunt in the car, so you didn't do that, so you weren't under
No, I didn't have none.
You said when you stepped out, you were looking for the weed,
Yeah,
and you reached in your pocket?
Yeah.
You hadn't had anything to smoke, hadn't had anything to drink that night?
I was good. I was with my mom that day, because I was talking to him on the phone or whatever, and then I was like, you coming through or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then cause he was supposed to come earlier, and then he never came. He came later. He come like, I'm not sure, probably like around 12, 1 o'clock. Talk about that, that he just got out of friend's house or whatever.
Now you were showing, I want to make sure I have this right. You were sitting there. He's sitting over here in the driver's seat. So you were showing, you start to get up. You're telling him you're looking for weed. So he's sitting here thinking y'all going to smoke.
Yeah, because I had the blunt, I cracked the blunt or whatever already. And then I told him I already had the weed broken up. So that way, I could just roll it. So I started, I broke it up, emptied out the guts to the blunt. And I told him, I was like, where's my weed? You know what I'm saying?
And then how'd you do it? You said you kind of sort of...
I came up like this, because I had the gun in my back pocket.
Okay.
And I put it on the chair. I was like, where's my weed? I was like, what's this little nub? I was like, oh, that's right. I forgot to put it in my back pocket. I was like, it's just squished there. That's why it took me a while. So I told him I had to get up, like
so
this.
you start to
And
get
then
up.
when I got up, I grabbed the gun like this. And I just pointed it.
And you stood outside, so he's maybe this far away from you,
Yeah.
across the car more or less. Like if this was the seat that you were in, you step out.
I was like, literally still touching my leg was still touching the car.
Still sort of in the car?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so I just pulled it out
And then
and
you
I
reached
reached in.
Did you lean in or did
No,
you
I
stand
just,
like that?
I just reached in, like I had my head like this.
So he's
And
a
then-
couple feet from you?
Yeah, I just pulled it, and then I was like, oh shit. And he
then-
looked at me like, he's like, and I know he looked over there because I seen his body go like this. And then I shot,
And you said,
I shot
shot, you
twice,
heard-
and then
And the third shot was to the head?
Yeah.
Okay, so you heard the screaming after the first two
the
shots?
second shot.
Oh.
Yeah, the first shot, nothing happened,
Okay.
so I thought I missed. And then the second time, and the third time, as soon as I pulled the trigger, I looked down, I just seen his head just like bounce back like this.
Okay.
And then I looked on the thing, he had shit on the back seat.
On the headrest?
Yeah.
And then you left.
And I
Got
left.
changed.
Or what,
How long did you wait before you came back? I mean,
Well,
you
I
wait
checked-
long enough for the
I
police
first-
not to come and stuff like that? Nobody reported anything, or did you
No,
5 minutes and go
I
get the
probably
car?
like 10, 15 minutes at the most.
Enough to get changed?
Yeah, because at first I was, I scoped out the area, looking
And-
around or
and
whatever.
enough to get changed and make sure shit, there ain't a bunch of police cars outside.
Pretty much, yeah. Because, it was a loud bang,
Yeah.
so, plus the echo, because the doors were closed, so, I looked around to see if anybody was outside, talking on the phone, see if anybody was outside. And then somebody was right there. And then, when he was just walking by or whatever, I waited like 5 minutes after they walked, checked out there, and then came back. And
So you
How
You-
tall was Levi? Like 6 foot
he's like this tall, man.
compared to you?
Like probably this tall. So I don't know. I'm like 5'4". I'm like 5'4", 5'3".
You taller than me?
And he looked taller
A
than
little
me.
taller than me?
Yeah.
I'm only about 5'8". So
Yeah, he looked taller than me.
the reason for the reason for the phone calls and the thing was meant to your intent was to bring Levi over there to kill him that night.
That day, yeah.
how long did you? I mean, you said you were trying to get him to come over all day.
No, I wasn't trying. Well, at first, yeah, because it was the smoke or whatever.
Okay.
And then like around
And all
9,
that stuff
10,
blew up.
yeah, and then 9 to 10 o'clock in the afternoon, at night or whatever, that's when all the, all the phone calls and everything, her dad was talking to him and everything. And then once that happened, that's when that shit just pushed me. And he's like, yeah, man. I was like, if you don't get this bitch to stop calling me, I don't give a fuck. I was like, I told you I was going to wait, but I'm just going to get Danielle to whoop her ass now, so I don't care that she pregnant. And that's when I told him, I was like, you ain't going to fuck with my baby, so I was like, I told you already, you ain't going to fuck with my baby. I was like, if you do, watch what happens. And then he kept
That was all on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he said that happened, and then,
And you told him, come on, you wanted to smoke.
Yeah, I was like,
Everything was cool.
yeah, because after he talked to him, I was like, I don't know, man, you know what I'm saying? I was like, you already know how family is, because, family, like, drama and shit. So I was like, man, you know how family is, you know what I'm saying? I was like, just drop that shit, you know what I'm saying? We get that shit straight, man. I was like, just come over, you know what I'm saying? I got this blunt, man, I was like, just chill, smoke a blunt, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying? If we're going to go out, we go out. If not, you go home and, just to chill out. I was like, have everything relaxed, you know what I'm saying? He's like, all right, man. He's like, well, I'm going to my friend's house now, or whatever. And then he's like, when I get out my friend's house, I'm going to come over. That's why I told you he was supposed to call me a little bit earlier.
Right.
But he never called me, so like around 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, that's when he
Sometime
called me.
late. Okay.
And then I was like, shit, you still want to come through? Come on.
Is there anybody else who knows anything about this?
When Detective Meacham was showing you some things, he showed you Levi's picture. I was watching your face. What do you think now that he's dead?
Just
Fuck him. That's his.
Yeah.
That's what.
rest in peace, you know what I'm saying?
No, but he got what he deserved.
It could have been handled less, you know what I'm saying? Once it happened, At first, at the time when it happened, I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I told him to stop fucking with me, you know what I'm saying? I told him already, he got me, you know what I'm saying?
So
That's what I was thinking to myself,
He got what he deserved.
Yeah, at the time, that's what I said.
Yeah.
And then once time came by, I was like, man, I know I was hot, man. I just got that anger get over me at the time. Cause I'm not that violent, man. My mom, my family can tell you all that. It's like I might get, hot-headed. I might get tempered, but the only time I really do something if you put your hands on me or somebody I love.
Okay.
And you talk about taking my child, you know what I'm saying? That's push me.
What are we supposed to tell Levi's mom? I mean, you know her. You know who she is, right?
Well, I've seen her. I don't know her like that.
I mean, what? If it was your mom, I mean, what am I supposed to? Well, I can't think of anything else.
No, step out for a sec. You need anything? You
Yeah.
want something to drink or something?
Before I do go, I am going to search you real quick.
Yeah.
Just make sure you don't have anything else with you, all right?
You gotta give Hector a little bit of credit. He voluntarily brought himself to the station and fessed up to the shooting like a man. But did he lie? Would he only kill if he felt a loved one was being hurt? To find out, check out part 1 and part 2 of this series in the pinned comment section and in the description box. And thank you for watching They Caught Me. Till next time.